This is Icon of the Seas. Weighing 248,663 gross tons and measuring 1,196 feet long, Icon of the Seas is the largest cruise ship in the world. With 20 decks, the ship is designed to rival any family resort. There are over 40 dining venues and bars that serve food and drinks of all kinds. For those wanting to relax at the pool, there are 7 of them, including the Royal Bay, which is the largest pool at sea with over 40,000 gallons of water. And if you need a bit of adventure during your vacation, the ship comes with the largest water park at sea, named Category 6. This park features the tallest water slide on a ship and the first open freefall water slide on a cruise vessel. And in case you get bored of this, there are a host of other amenities designed to keep you busy, like laser tags, fitness centers, escape rooms, theaters, sport courts, mini golf courses, spas, carousels, jogging tracks, rock climbing walls, whirlpools, and more. Icon of the Seas is undeniably a marvel of engineering and design, and building it was not cheap. The whole process began with the conceptualization and design phase. This stage involved envisioning the overall structure, functionality, and aesthetics of the ship. Once this stage was completed, the company announced the ship to the public in October 2016. Royal Caribbean commissioned Meyer Turku, a Finnish shipbuilding company, with the construction of the ship, and Meyer Turku began the actual construction of the ship in June 2021. The construction began with the fabrication of the hull and the superstructure. The hull was constructed in sections, known as blocks, which were then welded together. These blocks can weigh several hundred tons each and are fabricated with precision to ensure they fit together perfectly. The superstructure, which includes the upper decks and cabins, was also constructed simultaneously and integrated with the hull. Once the hull and superstructure were complete, the installation of various systems and machinery began. This included the propulsion system, electrical systems, plumbing, HVAC, and safety systems. The next phase was the installation of passenger cabins, restaurants, entertainment venues, and other amenities. Before the ship was handed over to the cruise line, it underwent testing and sea trials. Icon of the Sea had its first sea trials in June 2023, where the main engines, hull, brake systems, steering, noise, and vibration levels were all tested. Between preparing for the trial and the tests themselves, there were over 2,000 specialists who put in more than 350 hours of work in helping Icon of the Seas pass this important milestone. Then, in November 2023, Icon took its second test of sea trials. During this test, the ship's noise, vibration, speed, fin stabilizers, automation, and main engine adjustments were tested. After successful sea trials, final touches were applied to the ship. This included painting, detailing, and ensuring that all systems are fully operational. The ship was then thoroughly cleaned and prepared for delivery. Icon of the Seas was delivered on November 6, 2023, exactly 873 days after the first piece of steel was cut. That's 2 years, 4 months, and 21 days. During this time, more than 10,000 people were involved across all areas of construction and design. This all culminated in an estimated cost of building of around $2 billion, making Icon the most expensive cruise ship to date. But what might be even more impressive than the ship's construction is a complex web of economic and logistical factors that power it. I recently got curious and searched for my name online, and what I found was quite unsettling. Numerous data brokers appeared in search results, with 2 of them showing up on the first page of Google. These brokers had access to my phone number, email address, employment history, and education history. It felt weird knowing that this personal information was so easily accessible. One of the services even went into more detail, providing information like my average job tenure and how likely I am to be open to a new job opportunity. But what surprised me the most was seeing a data broker that had done a personality summary, listing my personality type and characteristics. The fact that they might sell this information to anybody is honestly quite uncomfortable. That's why I've started using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura alerts me when my personal information is being sold on the dark web or by data brokers. It automatically removes my information from data broker websites and helps me take action if it's exposed on the dark web. This is especially important right now, given the recent Ticketmaster hack where data of 560 million users was put up for sale on the dark web. The data stolen includes full names, addresses, email addresses, phone numbers, and credit card data. And guess what? Ticketmaster isn't doing anything about it. But I don't have to worry because Aura provides the all-around protection I need, from monitoring my accounts to offering identity theft insurance, all in one place. With Aura always working in the background, I can have peace of mind knowing that my personal information is being protected. I value my privacy and I value yours. You can go to aura.com/NBA-maven to start your 2-week free trial, also linked down below. It's early morning on a Saturday, and Icon of the Seas is docked at Port Miami, having just finished the cruise. It is a hectic day, as the ship has to be ready to start sailing for its next cruise in just a few hours. This is what's known as a turnaround day. During this day, the passengers from the completed cruise disembark and every room is turned over and cleaned thoroughly. While the ship is being cleaned and prepared for the next voyage, another very important process begins. Research shows that food is a top priority for a cruise ship goer, meaning that cruise ships have to make sure they serve a variety of foods. And in a ship that holds around 7,600 passengers, this is not an easy feat. Analysts plan the food inventory based on historical data of what passengers eat on certain routes. Additionally, they can adjust their sourcing based on how many of its travelers are children. A ship as large as Icon of the Seas usually sets aside $1 million as a shopping budget for a single trip, which means that on turnaround day, trucks carrying 500 pallets of new inventory will arrive at the cruise terminal. 20,000 pounds of rice, 3,500 pieces of lobster, 20,000 pounds of potatoes, 4,000 gallons of soda, 16,000 pounds of beef, 80,000 eggs, 10,000 pounds of chicken, and 700 pounds of ice cream are just some of the foods loaded into the ship. Items enter on Deck 2 of the ship. Once on board, everything is moved along the ship's secret highway, the I-95, which runs the entire length of the ship on Deck 2. In addition to food, staffing is another major expense. Running a ship as large as Icon of the Seas takes a lot of people, 2,350 to be exact. But the ship's owners have found ways to minimize how much they have to pay their workers. Even though Royal Caribbean is an American company headquartered in Florida, Icon of the Seas does not have to follow American labor laws and minimum wage requirements. See, in the world of ships, there is a practice known as the flag of convenience. This allows the ship's owner to register a ship in a country with a more relaxed regulatory environment. In the case of Icon of the Seas, the ship is registered in and sails under a Bahamas flag. If Icon was registered in the US, it would have to comply with the US labor laws, which include higher minimum wages, stricter working hour limits, and more comprehensive worker protection regulations than in many other countries. Additionally, registering in the US would make it difficult to hire foreign workers. While US law does not outright ban the hiring of foreign workers on US flagged ships, the combination of immigration laws and labor regulations makes it more complicated and costly to do so. By registering the ship in the Bahamas, Icon can circumvent all these regulations, which makes it possible to easily hire international workers and comply with less stringent labor laws, meaning that it opens the way to hire workers that are willing to work 12 to 14-hour days while being paid less than the US minimum wage. This is a major reason why a large percentage of Icon of the Seas staff is made up of foreign workers from the Philippines, India, Indonesia, and Eastern Europe. Additionally, registering in the Bahamas also yields a number of tax benefits for Icon of the Seas. The Bahamas is recognized as a tax haven because of its favorable financial environment. This includes the absence of corporate and personal income taxes, no capital gains tax, and a historically strong commitment to banking secrecy, meaning that Icon of the Seas pays virtually no taxes on its profits. Another major cost is fuel. Powering such a behemoth of a ship is not cheap. Icon uses about 250 tons, which translates to 80,000 gallons of fuel every day. Depending on prices, Icon can spend up to $150,000 every day, which means that in a 7-day cruise, Icon burns just over $1 million in fuel costs. As we can see, food, staffing, and fuel are some of the biggest expenses when it comes to operating Icon of the Seas. Some research has shown that once we include other costs like maintenance, the cost of operating Icon of the Seas for a day is more than $1.1 million, meaning that for a 7-day cruise, Icon costs Royal Caribbean just under $8 million to operate. But how much does this ship actually bring in? While Royal Caribbean does not share how much money each ship brings in, we can use public information to make an educated guess. Cruise prices vary depending on dates and how far in advance the rooms are booked. So, to account for this, let's select August 23, 2025 as our starting date. Icon of the Seas is made up of 2,805 rooms, which are separated in 4 categories: interior, outside view, balcony, and suites. The least expensive room on the ship for this sailing was a basic interior cabin priced at $3,780 for 2 people. The most expensive? That is a massive ultimate family townhouse priced at $92,917 in cruise fare for the week-long cruise, although more than 2 people can use this suite. All told, across 2,805 staterooms, the ship generates an estimated $14 million in cruise fare alone for this specific 7-day cruise if all rooms were sold at current listed prices. That comes out to approximately $2 million in revenue each day. But this is only revenue from room tickets. Cruise lines bank on the fact that they have a captive audience for a week. They make their profit from keeping passengers moving through the ship, dropping cash on onboard purchases like alcohol, casino games, and specialty restaurants. And the ship's design helps. Icon of the Seas is purposely designed to maximize how much money passengers spend on board. Every person has to walk from their room to the dining room at least once a day, and the space between the rooms and the dining room is where the cruise's lounges, bars, and casinos are placed. Seeing these places multiple times a day should hopefully make people more likely to go and spend some money. And this strategy works. According to Royal Caribbean financials, the company generated approximately 31% of its total revenue from onboard purchases. So, if we assume that the same is true for Icon, it means that onboard purchases on the ship account for approximately $1 million every day. This brings the total revenue to an estimated $3 million per day. Icon is an undeniably fun ship, and as we can see, quite lucrative for the company. However, some believe that fun and profits should not be enough to justify the environmental damage large ships like Icon are responsible for. The cruise industry has long been under scrutiny for its impact on the environment. A medium-sized cruise ship emits as much greenhouse gases as 12,000 cars. And with the Icon of the Seas being the largest cruise ship in the world, its greenhouse gas emissions should be much higher. But not if you listen to Royal Caribbean. According to the company, the ship sets a new standard for sustainability with the use of energy-efficient technology designed to minimize its carbon footprint. For example, Icon of the Seas is Royal Caribbean's first ship to be powered by liquefied natural gas, or LNG, a fossil fuel that the cruise industry has touted as a cleaner alternative to the commonly used heavy fuel oil. Using this fuel results in 25% less carbon dioxide than conventional marine fuels. However, LNG is mostly methane, which, over time, traps more heat than carbon dioxide, about 80 times more, making it much more dangerous than carbon dioxide. And according to experts, a cruise ship using LNG emits more greenhouse gas emissions overall because of something called methane slip. This is where some gas is not burned, leading to emissions of methane. So, even if ships use 100% renewable LNG bio or e-fuels, methane emissions from ships would still double between 2019 and 2030 because of methane slip. Royal Caribbean has recognized this problem and says that LNG was the most viable alternative fuel available when decisions were being made about how to build Icon of the Seas more than 10 years ago. According to the company, it does not see LNG as a long-term fuel, but more as a transitional one as it works on a more sustainable system. The company is preparing to debut the Celebrity XL next year, a 3,248 passenger ship that will be equipped with a tri-fuel engine designed to accommodate methanol, which several environmental groups consider to be one of the most promising fuels to achieve carbon-neutral sailing.